Hi, I'm number one. My name is Lynlia. Then I talk more about myself, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, how old are you?
Oh, I'm 26 years old, from New York, born and raised, and I'm Chinese American.
All right, so what made you to want to come to this competition? What would you like to get out of this?
I wanted to have the opportunity to practice my public speaking, as well as find a community within New York where I can meet with my cultural background, because I actually grew up in Staten Island, which is quite a small town, conservative area, and I realized that I do want to get back to my roots and figure out what can I do within this small circle of New York to provide for the Chinese community.
I see. So, like, during your free time, like, what are the things that you like to do?
I do a lot of things in my quote-unquote free time, but honestly, I don't think I give myself much free time because the things I do for work are things I'm passionate about. I like to go to a recording studio, and I like to tell people, isn't this cool? Recording technologies from the 1940s and 50s, these technologies. And I'm like always like hustling around like these old Apple computers, and it's like crazy. And then like I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is analog. And now, even right now, we're doing digital recording. And I'm really not much of a performer in comparison to actually being behind the scene. Working on the camera equipment, working with mics, and like lugging around stuff. I make the joke with all the girls that my exercise isn't true exercise, it's lifting around recording equipment. And that's just like one of the things I do.
Okay. So it's like, are you a recording artist or?
I would say I'm a jack of all trades. I do acting, screen acting. I like to work at a recording studio and edit music, whether it's classical or jazz music. I like to play music myself, piano, guitar, sing to clients as a music therapist, and a piano teacher, where I like to communicate with my students and help them realize their inner musician.
I see. So do you know that like in a typical Eastern culture, like when you tell your parents like you want to be a musician, like something related to arts, do they have anything to say?
Yeah, definitely. Growing up, I think that my family, when they immigrated here, just the general mentality is to survive. But they want their kids to have the best life possible, and that's why they put the pressure on me and other, I think, similar Asian parents. They don't realize it's a little bit of pressure, but they want us to be successful and want us to be stable in life, and that's why they try to avoid or deter me away from the arts. They were just worried I would, have a lot of difficulties in life, but unfortunately, I decided I wanted to live my life with the more difficult path because I just found it more fulfilling for myself.
I see. I'm sure like along the way you have like that much pressure to deal with. Like tell me one of the biggest hardships that you ever had and how did you deal with it?
Yeah, I think there were a lot of hardships in my life. And to be honest, I think the way I dealt with things, they were never perfect. They were always a constant way to figure things out. Specifically, one hardship I had recently was I had my first performance right after COVID. It was a couple months ago, actually, and it was in front of my students. And unfortunately, even though I practiced, I blacked out on stage. I got nervous and my fingers were frozen. And although it was difficult and I was upset in the moment, I also wanted to show that it was okay to my students because that was just the general audience. And later my students came and thanked me and said, I still did great even though I got stage fright. A couple weeks later, there was a student recital, and it was their turn to perform. And unfortunately, I did have a student that also blacked out, but we were able to share that mutual understanding that we're not perfect all the time, and we can mess up on stage at times as well.
I see. Yeah, like I totally agree with you because no one's perfect because the society is made up with like imperfect people. So, and what is one quality that you think that a person like ever have like is the best? Like what kind of quality do you think a person like must have in terms of personality?
I think that's a very difficult question, honestly, because everybody has things going on for them that works for them, and it may not necessarily work for other people. What I think, or the type of people I want to be with, or what I want to engage with, is people that are truly kind from the bottom of their hearts. And I don't mean the surface level kind where we just, buy something for another person, although that's very like physically giving. But I want to believe that people should work on empathy and recognizing everybody's differences and understanding that there's potential in everybody to change. That's the quality I look for in other people.
I see. Like those questions are very deep. So let's have like a more relaxing questions. Like what is one of your favorite movie?
One of my favorite movies is La La Land. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Yes.
Yes, but basically it's about an actor who's like struggling so hard, and she always kept getting rejected. She also like met a musician, and they were both trying to make it big together. And in the end, the relationship didn't work out, and they went their separate ways, but they were grateful for the experience of knowing each other.
I see. So do you know like there are people out there like struggling? What is like one sentence you want to give to them? Like in order to motivate them.
Struggling is part of life, but you'll definitely learn a way to overcome it.
Okay. All right. And here's the last question. Like, out of the timeline, from the time that you signed up for the competition until now, like, did you learn anything from the process? Like, tell me one.
Honestly, I am a bit cynical of pageants, to be honest. It's because I feel like a lot of the judgment is based on your appearance, the 外表, But regardless of like, the appearance, how we present ourselves, how we talk, our stage presence, and even just like what we are physically born with for genetics, I realized the learning process is not just the on stage, but also the off stage. Also learning how to communicate with the staff, learning that each and every one of us is putting in so much effort to make this beautiful production. And no matter what the outcome is, I'm really grateful that I got to meet so many different people that are contributing so much to this world.
Like, from where and why did you choose like to enter this competition?
I entered this competition for a couple different reasons, and well, one, it's primarily because I was born and raised in New York, so I've heard of this like on TV. At the same time, I've also saw two of my friends throughout the years participate. One was Fiona Chen. She was my high school classmate. We went to LaGuardia High School together. And another was Alice Chen, otherwise known as Shan Chen. And she and I also went to college together, but she also went to LaGuardia High School. And I was always envious of that they participated. They probably had like the family and the parental support. But at the time when I was of 16 qualifying age, I wasn't the most self-confident in myself. But at this point in my life and realizing it's my last chance, then I just decided, hey, Lynlia, give it a shot.
I see. As many of us must know that like confidence is one of the best personalities one ever has. How did you practice to increase your confidence?
There are a lot of ways to improve confidence, and I think something that people don't differentiate is the difference between confidence and self-esteem. For example, I'm confident in educating my piano students, teaching them the basics and recognizing where they have struggles in terms of their muscle movements or perhaps even reading sheet music. I think a better way to ask this question is about self-esteem. How did you improve your self-esteem? And honestly, it's an ongoing life process, and you have to figure out ways, because what works for other people doesn't necessarily work for yourself. For me, definitely first is physical health, enough sleep, nutrition, water, and then we also have to think about socially, what type of people we want to keep in our lives and what type of people aren't the most healthy for our lives. And then we also think about our needs in our creative pursuits. Do we need outlets such as, artistic hobbies, socializing? So just figuring out your different needs and filtering out what would be beneficial for you, what would not be beneficial for you. It's just an ongoing process, and it's just individualized for everybody.
Okay, I see. And so there's a saying that don't judge a book by its cover. What do you think about this?
I think that's very true. For some reason, I was picked on a lot when I was younger for my appearance, and it's either I had to downplay myself and not dress up in order to be considered safe or accepted, or I would want to dress up and feel pretty, but then people would think I'm superficial. So unfortunately, light travels faster than sound. Appearance, what people see is how people perceive you. But hopefully we all remember to take the time to get to know somebody truly from within through conversation, communication, and that's not always verbal. That's like music as well, or just helping others through action. There's different methods of getting to know somebody on a deeper level.
Okay, I see.